Penguin Wars was originally an arcade game from Universal Playland that eventually made its way over to multiple platforms of the time: the MSX computer, the Nintendo Family Computer, the various Sharp computers, and today's subject matter, the Game Boy release, which ended up being the only version to hit North American soils until the recent 2018 remake for the modern game systems. Penguin Wars is best described as a combination of air hockey and dodgeball, where you pick from one of 5 animal creatures, each with their own varying strengths and weaknesses, and you compete against each other in best of 3 matches. The main goal is to clear your side of the table of balls by lobbing them after your opponent before time runs out. Your opponent, meanwhile, will attempt to do the same thing, and whoever clears their side of balls wins. Alternatively, if time expires, the winner will be the player with the least amount of balls. Penguin Wars is very simplistic fare. You move your character with the D-pad, you pick up a ball with the A button, and you toss it with another press of the A button. Now if you hold down the A button while holding onto a ball, you'll be able to charge your shot and shoot the ball super fast. A player can be stunned momentarily when hit with a ball, and its charged shot will stun the player a lot longer, prompting you to move to the sides in order to recover quickly. With 30 seconds remaining in the round, an obstacle will appear in the middle of the table, blocking your shots. When a player wins perfect sets, they'll play a bonus game for additional points. A typical run lasts 4 games, each against the remaining animals you didn't select. After winning the 4th game, you'll get a little podium before entering the next loop, where the opposition gets a little tougher. As a single-player game, Penguin Wars is adequate fare. The first loop tends to be a bit on the easy side, depending on the animal you're playing with, but does pick up steam as you progress onwards. In general, the difficulty is a bit on the lower side of the spectrum, due to the somewhat slower speed of the game, but for a quick bus ride, it's adequate fare with simple, responsive, and functional controls. Penguin Wars also has a versus mode, so you can play against a friend via Game Link, should you find someone else with a copy of Penguin Wars to play with. Penguin Wars sports some adequate visuals featuring simple animated animal characters and a rather plain looking table with some decent scaling on the balls. You can recognize what everything is, it looks clean, it doesn't flicker or hurt the eyes, it looks just fine on the Game Boy. As far as sound is concerned, meh. You got a couple tunes that play in the background that sound alright, some decent sound effects, not much else to say in that regard, it's okay I guess. Overall, Penguin Wars is a fun little competitive game that is simple, straightforward, and a halfway decent time killer that serves best as a multiplayer experience rather than a single player one. Although, considering this is Game Boy and you need a Game Link as well as 2 copies of the game to play, that might prove a bit difficult. In that regard, you might as well go for the more recent version, which I've heard some good things about. Barring that, the Famicom version tends to be a favorite to include on those multi-card things, so that's one avenue to check out if you're so inclined, but in any form, Penguin Wars is good, clean fun.